When you go to any major sporting event in the United States, there's a moment that happens before the game even starts. Everyone stands up, hats off, hands on hearts, and the national anthem plays. Sometimes there are fireworks or even a military flyover. Soldiers in uniform are often recognized and applauded. None of this has anything to do with the sport itself. It's a ritual of allegiance, tying the joy of entertainment and community to loyalty to the state. And for most people, it even feels normal, comforting. That's because there's something deeply human about wanting to feel pride in where you're from. Patriotism, in that sense, isn't just about the government. It's about belonging. It's about looking at the place where you grew up, the culture that shaped you, the people you share it with, and feeling a kind of gratitude. Being proud of where you come from can be wholesome, even beautiful. I feel that way when I think about America. In a way, I feel like the entire country is mine. I can go to another state I've never visited before and still feel at home. I know I'll be accepted. I'll be able to strike up a conversation with strangers who share some of the same cultural references, who grew up on the same songs, TV shows, or holiday traditions. It feels like a place I can move freely in, where my family would also be welcome, and that creates a strong sense of connection. And it's not unique to America. A person in Kenya might feel the same about their own community, their region, or even across borders where language and traditions are shared. These feelings of belonging aren't inherently tied to lines on a map. I can't go to the border and see a line in the ground. They grow out of relationships, shared history, and lived culture. But here's where things shift. Pride in a place, in a culture, in a community, that's patriotism. Nationalism is different. Nationalism doesn't just say, I love where I come from. It says, my nation is the best and everyone else is lesser. Nationalism demands allegiance to not just the people, but to the state itself, to its power and its leaders, regardless of whether they are just or corrupt. It draws a hard line between who belongs and who doesn't. That's where nationalism gets dangerous. It turns the sense of pride into exclusion. It tells you that loyalty to the government is the highest good. It normalizes hostility to outsiders. If you don't support this politician or this bill or this thing we're doing, you don't support America. Nationalism normalizes hostility to outsiders. It fuels wars, colonialism, and in its ugliest forms, ethnic cleansing. History is full of examples. Fascist movements in the 20th century, or more recent surges of authoritarian populism that define their identity by who they hate. And yet the impulse nationalism feeds on is real, the desire to belong. The challenge is how to honor that feeling without letting it curdle into something destructive to everyone. Patriotism can be generous, inclusive, about celebrating what you love. But nationalism is narrow, about defending what you think is yours against others. The way forward might be to expand our sense of belonging, to see pride in your culture as something that doesn't require other cultures to be diminished. You can feel rooted in your country while also seeing yourself as part of a wider human community. Because the truth is, the more we tie our identities to the state, the easier it is for power to exploit that loyalty. But if our belonging is grounded in people, traditions, and shared humanity, then pride becomes something that unites rather than divides. Loving where you're from isn't the problem. The problem is when love turns into a demand for blind allegiance, or when pride depends on someone else being pushed out. Patriotism can be a celebration, while nationalism is a warning sign. The more we can tell the difference, the closer we get to building a world where belonging doesn't have to come at someone else's expense. I'm Ryan. Click the next video to see a little more from me.